We finally finished Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and we have some thoughts.
That's an understatement. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess just to start off, this is a new game that just came out. It's for $70 on next gen consoles, and it's by Rocksteady. And I know you know all this, but just as a little intro into it, these are the people who made the Arkham games. Fantastic, their trilogy, Asylum, City, and Night, pretty much 10 out of 10 games. Like, fantastic. The combat is some of the best combat ever in video games.
Yeah.
And the storylines are all fantastic. So when I heard that they were making a multiplayer game like this, like a co-op game based on the Suicide Squad in the Arkham universe, I was hyped.
Yeah.
I was very excited. And going into it, even though hearing all the negative reception around it, I was still like, I want to have my own thoughts on it. I want to play it for myself and see how I feel. And now we've played it. We've played it and we've beaten it. And I can't explain how disappointed I am.
We're pretty much even on, I think, our thoughts on this. That we were both excited for it. We were both like, okay, this feels like it has potential. I feel like what really happened is that they had an idea. They desperately wanted to do it. And then somebody else came in and was like, well, you got to make about $1 bajillion off of it. And here's how. And that just ruined it.
I feel like this is the Fortnite effect.
Yeah.
Fortnite is the biggest game of all time now.
So now everything has a battle arena,
Yeah,
so.
Everything needs to have a battle pass. Everything needs to have an item shop. Everything needs to never end. This game needs to go forever. Like, there always needs to be updates and stuff like that. And it's like, no, not every game needs to be like that. If you make a good game with a good story and have multiplayer elements, you can stand on your own. You don't need all of this battle pass and, continuous, like, the story's never over. Like, towards the end of the game, I guess, are we spoiling?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree that they really throw this stuff in there. I'm saying this with a huge grain of salt. I can understand the logic for wanting a live service game, wanting battle passes and stuff, but not for this kind of game. When your game is very, very character focused, it doesn't make sense to do that.
Yeah.
When you have a character focused game, it should be about the characters, be about the story. What were they thinking? Like, even me, who is not a game developer, who is pretty much a big idiot, can understand this was a very stupid idea.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they made it a live service game.
I don't know. And I have mixed feelings about the whole thing. Like, going into it, I remember in the trailer reaction that we did, I said I wanted these boss fights to be like Dark Souls level bosses because it's the Suicide Squad against the Justice League. They should be incredibly challenging. Not impossible, but challenging. And every single boss fight was exactly the same. And I don't think we failed once, really, where we were down.
They were challenging, but they were challenging because they were stupid, not because they were designed to be challenging.
Yeah. Like, the first one you get is the Flash fight, which I know has been posted about from, like, different reviews and stuff. And it's just, he runs around and you stun him and you shoot him. And it's like, okay, I can see how that's the Flash fight.
It's the Flash, yeah.
Yeah.
But then why is every other fight like that?
Green Lantern, Superman. The only other different one was Batman, and I won't say why due to spoilers, but, like, even that was just, what? Like, why is this the Batman fight?
Yeah. Do we want to go? I think it's pretty clear that the answer to the question is it worth your time? Is no.
No.
I can't even be like, oh yeah, you like the Arkham universe? Yeah, this is a nice addition to it, because it just isn't.
No,
It just
this
isn't.
this
The Arkham
is
universe ended. Yeah,
disrespectful to the Arkham universe.
the Arkham universe ended at Arkham Knight.
Yeah,
So, spoilers are now starting here and out.
the spoilers.
So,
Is spoiler
spoilers,
time. Spoiler time.
spoiler time.
The amount of disrespect to Batman in this game
God,
was
here's the funny thing.
insane.
Here's the funny thing. They gave him the most interesting stuff, but also did him super dirty at the same time.
Yes. And it's like, for this to be Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman, it breaks my heart. They had a little tribute for him at the end, and that made me like, it hit my heartstrings. But the amount of disrespect that they have, because it's like, for this to be the next game in the Arkham universe, it's like, okay, it respects the fact that like you've played the other games in the Arkham universe. So it's like, here's 4 games leading up to you playing as different characters and then just killing Batman.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. Harley Quinn just shoots him in the head. And it's like,
very anticlimactic.
yeah. And it's like, it's not even just like, oh, maybe she didn't shoot him or something, like it shows him being shot, dead, and then blood coming out, like while he's laying on the ground. So he's dead. He's dead. They're gonna resurrect him somehow, sure, but he's dead.
It was going to be an alternate universe thing, which is stupid because I wanted to know more about that universe.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like
they just destroyed
that
it.
universe never explored their Justice League or something like that. Like, if you're gonna make the Justice League, why not make a Justice League game?
Honestly, their Justice League was pretty lame.
Yeah,
just gonna say,
but still, they could have done better.
They didn't even have a full roster. Didn't feel like.
I know. And where was Aquaman?
Yeah, like where was Green Arrow? I mean, Green Arrow's not always a Justice Leaguer, but still, like,
yeah,
I don't know. It just felt like where was everybody else?
Yeah,
it just felt weird.
Towards the end, I would say about the first 3/4 of the game, it didn't really feel like they were pushing the fact that this was going to be a live service game, that this was going to continue and keep going and going. But oh my gosh, towards the end of the game, it gets so heavy-handed. Like, the cutscenes and the dialogue is like, oh, there's 13 versions of Brainiac, and we're gonna have to kill them all, and we're gonna have to, and the more we kill them, the better loot, better guns and stuff we're gonna get. And this sounds fantastic. This sounds great. We never have to stop. We're just gonna keep going forever. And it's like, where did this dialogue come from? Like, what? Why are they doing this all of a sudden? Why are they just like shoving it down your throat? And it's because the game doesn't end. Like, there's credits.
It doesn't.
And there's credits, and there is an achievement for beating the game, but it's like, it specifically says before you do that, hey, this Brainiac is just one of many. Like, you're not going to save the world after you beat this. Like, you're just going to just check off a box that you killed the first one. And that's the end of this main story.
It'd be one thing if, like, the story was actually fun and compelling, and then they added the other stuff at the end. But they, like, they started from the get-go trying to make this like a live service game. Because even story missions, straight up story missions, did not feel like story missions.
No.
You're like, oh, escort this car. Oh, go stop this collector. Oh, take out this gun. Those are not story missions. That's just like run around, daily quest kind of stuff, like you're playing Destiny or like any other, like, looter shooter kind of game where you're just doing the daily objective, like it was weird. Like, how is this the story?
And then there were a few times where like little story missions would sneak through, but they'd be stupid. And my one example is something we did the last playthrough we had was the Batman fight. Before you fight Batman, he uses the Scarecrow fear toxin. And it's like, it feels more like they were trying to do a story mission, because you have to play through as each character for some reason. You have to play through all 4 characters and they have to all like use the fear toxin, like they have to turn on a fan to like aerate the room or something and get the toxin out of there. And you have to make sure you do it before like the toxin meter fills up. That had so much potential. Like if they did a Scarecrow style for each of the characters and show their fears instead of just putting like little audio clips in the background, like that had so much potential. You could have done like a little Batman Scarecrow thing for each of the characters and show their specific fears and make it a little bit of a horror feel. But instead it was just like, oh, shoot the little Batman in the side so he doesn't attack you, and then
they had a little bit of that. Like every character had its own like things it had to avoid. Like Boomerang had all like the statues. Nuabe, or however I forget his name, King Shark. He had like there was like mirages of like gates and stuff, like he was imprisoned and like like this big skeleton, like shark skeletons and stuff, like it. And like Harley Quinn had like a bunch of like Batman traps and stuff she had to watch out for. And so there was like character,
but they still did the bare minimum.
It was just shoehorned
in. The bare minimum. Yeah.
And
for this game to be in development for so long, and it was announced like I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, and for this to turn out like this, it's just disappointing more than anything. Like with Rocksteady's track record, for this to come out this bad just hurts. It really does. Yeah. And it's like, no one's going to keep playing this. No one's going to continue on. And the servers will shut down after 6 months, a year tops.
It's having the same problem that Marvel game had. That Avengers game, like it just wasn't good. Even the Avengers game had better upgrades. Like there was actually a good upgrade tree. The upgrade tree in this game is like, you get like slight more crit boost. You didn't get any more abilities. Like you didn't get anything. Like it was just stupid. You didn't even unlock all the slots until after you beat the game.
Yeah. And it's like it just, if they wanted to do this story, this version of the story, they could have done so much better. They could have made it thrilling and have each boss fight feel intense and memorable and stuff. Like, this is the freaking Justice League. You have so much source material to go off of and so many different stories to take from. And you make everybody have no personality, make Superman just cracking jokes and make puns. All of them were just making puns the entire time except Batman. But Batman was just boring Batman. Like, it wasn't even interesting Batman. It was boring Batman.
His boss fight was so stupid.
It was.
It was worse than the other ones, and the other ones were bad. It was literally just pew, pew, pew. Like, there was nothing to it. You just sat there and just shot.
Yeah.
You hardly had to even dodge or anything. It's a giant target. Like, it was so stupid.
Now, I will say, I'll say a positive, okay? My favorite part of the game was during one of the first playthroughs we did when we were going through, like, the Batman Museum, and Batman was, like, stealthily taking out everybody, and you were seeing all the moments from the Arkham games, and, like, it was, like, telling the story of how he, like, met the Justice League and stuff and became a member. But, like, the stealth aspect, where like Batman would just do a takedown and like you just kept getting taken down for some reason. Like that,
always me.
That was a unique story element. And I was like, I'm into this. Like that was when I was still like 100% on board. Like I'm like, all right, let's see what this game goes.
You can tell that this game ran to the point where they started running out of time or money or something. Cause it was like, it was good. It was solid up until a point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just was like the same thing, just stretched out through the rest of the game with cutscenes in between. One other good thing I like to add is the characters was awesome. The actual characters were great. I loved them. Like I thought, King Shark was awesome. Harley Quinn was, the only problem I had was Deadshot was kind of quiet. But even he had his moments, like he had his
Yeah.
problem with whatchamacallit, tight spaces.
Claustrophobia.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But like the characters were actually really good, and that made me so sad that the gameplay and storytelling was just bad.
Especially Captain Boomerang. Like, I feel like they put the most love into his story and his dialogue.
He felt like the main character for some reason.
Yeah. And I was
I don't
like,
know why
okay.
him.
I don't know. Like, someone just
I would have
really
thought if
likes
anybody
Captain Boomerang.
Harley.
Yeah.
But I was fine with Captain Boomerang. It was the last character I don't know much about, and I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I wanted to know more about King Shark, because I knew nothing about King Shark. And they kept hinting at him like being the son of a god or something. I know nothing about King Shark.
Yeah. Well, all in all, I really don't have much more to say. It's like you said, it's not worth your time. It's not worth your money. Like I said, if we hadn't split the price of this game, I would have been furious. If I had to pay $70 for this and then played it,
Yeah.
I would have been mad. So
don't
buy it, don't play it.
The only way I would ever say play this is if they came out with an expansion and just fixed everything, which that would be near impossible. They would have to make it like half the price. They would have to do a lot, which they're not going to do.
Put it on Game Pass. That's what they're going to do. They're going to put it on Game Pass.
Put it on Game Pass. And it had such potential.
It really
did. It had good bones. Surprisingly enough. Why is it always like these big IP games? I know the answer why. Why is it like these big IP games, that deal with like big IPs like Justice League and stuff like that? It's because money and greed and all this stuff, they can never just make a good game. It drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
So like we said before, it's not worth your money. Only way I would ever say play this if it was free to you. Whether they make it free to play or they put it on Game Pass, don't spend your money on it.
Don't support this kind of game making. Don't be stupid like us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sad. I mean, we could talk about this for hours, but we'd be just going around in circles, playing about the same things. Our last couple sessions, we were just like complaining the whole time. I felt bad because we were complaining the whole time. And
the whole last playthrough.
But it's just bad.
I was mad.
Yeah, we were just like, let's get this done and over with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well,
so
for now,
an actual rating, or are we just leaving up with a yes or no as to whether you buy?
If I was going to rate it, I'd give it a...
I don't think it's worth rating. We know it's terrible.
Yeah. Okay, it's not worth rating, but if we were rating, I'd give it a 3.
3? I'd give it like a 1, man. It was just trash.
Really? A 1? Like, I don't know. I've played worse.
But it sets you up, and then it just like... It like dates you for like a couple months, thinking it's going to be like, your lover, and then it just like shoots you down like out of the blue. It just just primes you up, and then it's just like
I'm worn out. It's like it warned me out.
Yeah,
warned me out.
Well, all right, guys,
we'll just have to find a better game and just go with it.